Please be seated. Good afternoon. It is wonderful to see so many of our Queens graduates, faculty, staff, and families, as well as those of you who are joining us via live stream for our annual baccalaureate service. Earlier tomorrow morning, we will come together as a community to celebrate the commencement of Queens undergraduate and graduate students. As we look forward to this important celebration, the baccalaureate service allows us all a little time to pause and reflect on the journey that has brought us to this important milestone. My encouragement to you this afternoon is to celebrate the riches of the journey that have brought you to this point, and to embrace with gratitude the gifts you have nurtured and the many skills you have developed over the years. These gifts and skills will hold you in great standing as you take your next steps into the world beyond Queens. I encourage you to remember all those who have shaped you, challenged you, and encouraged you along the way. Family members, professors, staff, advisors, mentors, colleagues, and friends. Take all you have learned and all you have become into the next steps of your careers and your lives. And know that Queens will always be grateful for the ways you have shaped our community in rich and meaningful ways. Thank you once again for joining us for this special service this afternoon.
Thank you, Royal Voices of Charlotte. Will you come up and do that again, please? That was lovely. Good afternoon. My name is Adrian Bird, and I have the great privilege of serving as the University Chaplain here at Queen's. This baccalaureate service offers an important space and time to pause after the spinning wheels of the last few weeks, giving you in particular an opportunity to breathe deeply. In fact, let's do that now. Take a deep breath. A breath that celebrates the milestone that marks an open doorway to the rest of your lives. Queen's rich historical grounding in the Presbyterian tradition urges us to hold fast to core values present also in other traditions: compassion, service, intellectual curiosity, and commitment to the good of all our neighbors. I urge you, carry these values with you as you begin the next chapter of your story, as you discern what it is you will give your hearts to on the road ahead. The theme of today's gathering is mosaic, a theme that's woven into the very fabric of this entire service. It resonates through the readings, the music, the prayers, the poetry, and the stories that will be shared today. Be carried by the flow of this liturgy, for you are invited to participate through your personal meditations and reflections on what the theme of mosaic means for you. A part of the mosaic of your lives has already been crafted, shaped and molded by the many fragments of your life beyond but also at Queen's, by the highs and the lows, by the twists and the turns, the shiny and the dull, the tears, the challenges, the joys and the celebrations. But the mosaic of your individual lives are far from complete. You are equipped and empowered to keep molding, to keep shaping, and to keep adding to the richness of your particular story. For it's an ever-evolving mosaic. And if there's a piece that you don't like or that doesn't fit, change it to be a more authentic expression of who you are. And as I look out into this sanctuary, your individual mosaics become part of a larger, grander and more beautiful mosaic, a community mosaic made up of all its diverse pieces. And as I look around, it looks really good. In closing, remember the wells that have formed you. Remember the wells that have nourished you and sustained you, whether these be grounded in faith, in family, in community, and trust that these wells will continue to nourish and sustain you as you journey towards the new horizons that lie ahead. So take that deep breath and breathe this all in. Thanks be to God.
I am in awe about how much of what seems to be uniquely me is actually borrowed from others. I am a mosaic made up of every person I have met, loved, or with whom I've simply shared a moment. It's beautiful to realize that I carry pieces of these people within me, and not just as a memory, because they linger in the way I speak, the things I enjoy, and the habits I hardly notice. Being a mosaic means I am a living museum of the relationships I've had and the moments I have witnessed. When I cook a simple meal a certain way, I remember who showed me how. When I crave certain foods, I am drawn not just to their taste, but to the warmth and love attached to them. When I hum my favorite tunes, I am reminded that they are gifts that were wrapped in shared experiences. Even the colors I reach for, or the subtle gestures I make, are echoes of those who helped shape who I am today. When I catch myself repeating a phrase, a tone, or a habit that is not originally mine, I am again reminded of the people behind it. I see these experiences as proof of my belonging. It is proof that I carry others within me, even long after they may no longer be present in my life. It is proof of a life full of love and a life richly lived. I am a mosaic of the people I have loved. Being a mosaic means understanding that loss is a part of the process. People leave either because of distance, change, or death, but their pieces remain within me. And this permanence of connection teaches me to cherish what was and to carry these pieces forward. I am bright with love and bruised by loss. It is both a gift and a responsibility to carry these fragments with care, to honor their presence, and to let them continue shaping who I am becoming. I am a living archive of countless souls. No one of us is really a whole in ourselves. We are all stitched together by the lives we touch and by the love we share. We are never truly alone. We are made whole by the fragments of others, endlessly carried forward in love. I am a mosaic of the people I have loved.
Wow, what a thing to follow. That's amazing. Well, hello. My name is Natalie, and I have had the great privilege of being a nursing student here at Queens these past 4 years. I'd like to begin with a short passage from Ecclesiastes. 2 are better than 1, because they have a good return for their labor. If either of them falls down, one can help the other up. But pity anyone who falls and has no one to help them up. Also, if 2 lie down together, they will keep warm. But how can one keep warm alone? Though one may be overpowered, 2 can defend themselves. A cord of 3 strands is not quickly broken. If there's one thing I've learned from my time at Queens, it's that nothing exists in isolation. And I believe this passage reflects the idea that nothing was ever meant to. I believe this is true in 2 fundamental ways. The first is that we are not meant to stand alone. We are meant to rely on communities and be in support of each other. The second is that no one is a monolith. Who we are as people cannot be defined by any one thing. To explain my first point, I'd like to share with you 2 experiences I've had here at Queens that have taught me the importance of working with and leaning on others. The first is my time with our ethics bowl team. For those that don't know, the Ethics Bowl team is a statewide competition where teams from North Carolina universities debate ethics of real-world issues and questions we're facing every day. Hands down, being a part of this team has been the most collaborative learning experience I've had, and I've been able to explore topics and ideas well outside the scope of my major, and I've leaned on my team members for their expertise and experiences and learned the value of reaching consensus without compromising your values. Whether we win or lose, getting to work alongside and share in the experience with my team has made me a better learner and has shaped how I engage with the world around me. The second experience was my time with the Border Immersion course and the subsequent trip to Douglas, Arizona in Agua Prieta, Sonora. The course itself took a multifaceted approach to immigration. We reflected on the cultural and religious perspectives, while also considering the social and ethical implications of the current immigration policies. The whole course supports this idea that we should not face the world alone. On a more personal note, I unfortunately sprained my ankle right before we were meant to leave for this trip. I was concerned about how I would navigate traveling and walking with my group while injured, but the support of my peers and the faculty and staff for the course, I could go and have one of the most profound experiences of my life. It wasn't until I returned home that I discovered the full extent of that injury, and I do know now that I would have never made it through that trip without the support of the people who went with me, as well as the community members who housed us and lifted me up when I needed it. My second reflection is that we are not monoliths. One thing I've asked myself quite often as I approach this milestone is, who will I be when I'm no longer a student? I've been a student my whole life, but I know that's not all I am. And as I begin my career in nursing, I know that is not all I am either. The theme of today is mosaic, and I think it's a great visual for this point. With every path traveled and lesson learned, the larger image of who we are changes. Each piece is important and deserves recognition. I think, as Queen's students, many of us can point to the ways in which we've been given opportunities to expand our mosaics. Looking back, I can say that I'm a filmmaker on occasion. I'm a friend, an RA, an archivist, a mentor and a mentee, a musician, and tomorrow I will be a graduate. I would like to close out with a second verse from Isaiah. See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland. At moments of transition like this one, it's easy to look back and regret the things I didn't do or the things I didn't learn. However, I know as I make my way in this wilderness and create streams in the wasteland, I'm a part of this community, and I will carry with me all the lessons and experiences I've had here.
Good afternoon. My name is Becca Raker. Just in case you don't know me, I thought I would do a quick spiel on the ways you could know me. You might know me as a music therapy major, a psychology and honors department minor, a club and organization leader through Campus Union Board and FIMU, a head resident assistant, or as a frequent volunteer for the monthly Belk Chapel and Dice service events. If none of those ring a bell, you could know me from my 6 different jobs I've held on campus around Queens. All of that to say I've been a bit involved in my 4 years here. When coming to college, I made a goal for myself to be as involved as I could, and I'm pretty sure I achieved that. Now I am going to sing the hymn that I have chosen to base my speech around, while accompanied by the wonderful Brenda Fernandez. You are welcome to follow in your programs. I chose this hymn because I believe it represents the chaos and joy that occurs within a college experience. We all have had a college journey with the noise of excitement, from the acceptance to this university, to winning a game, to presenting that research poster. I personally feel this looking back at my college journey. Queens has been the place where I've been able to thrive in experiences I never thought I would get to participate in. My 18-year-old self wouldn't ever believe that I would have gone to London or Bath on a JBIB trip, or to Chicago to attend the World Parliament of Religions, both not within my major, by the way. That I would have been able to be president of an event planning organization, CUB, for 2 years, or that I would have been in an executive position and extremely passionate about sorority life. Unfortunately, most of us have also experienced silence in the way of a loss or of a lesson. We learn a lot about ourselves through this. I know that I have. I truly believe that I would not be the same person standing in front of you today if I hadn't experienced loss in the way that I have. A journey is always about the give and the take. I believe that faith is a big part of this. Faith is a very powerful thing that can be defined in a multitude of ways. I am personally defining it as something that is believed, especially with strong conviction, via the Merriam-Webster dictionary. Faith is what many of us have carried with us onto this campus through the traditions we are rooted in, and is what has kept us here until this day. We believed. That is why we've stayed here. There has been a lot of change to this university since we got here, and there's a lot upcoming. In the same way, we've changed a lot. We are going to continue to change as we transition to internships, to graduate schools, and to new jobs. We're going to have to jump headfirst into our chosen field, working the dreadful 9 to 5, or honestly, probably like an 8 to 6 p.m. shift. I've had to learn to have a lot of faith in myself and my personal abilities. As a music therapy major, I auditioned as a vocal primary in 2022. I remember having a panic attack in the Jersey Mike's parking lot before my audition because I did not believe I was good enough. I've worked in my 4 years to become the musician I am today, who can be a lead in a college-level opera in Dido and Aeneas, and self-accompany myself confidently while singing one of my favorite songs in front of an audience. Additionally, I have grown my skills as a music therapy clinician to stand confidently in front of compliance, knowing that I am capable of being a future music therapist. We are all capable. We have all poured our sweat and tears into our journey here, and I hope you are as proud of how far you have come as I am. But crazily enough, life doesn't stop as soon as we end college. It's only the start. You got this.
Hi, everyone. It's truly an honor to be standing here today, and I can't believe how far we've come. My name's Emily, and I will be graduating with a bachelor's degree in business administration and political science. Matthew chapter 6, verses 33 and 34 reminds us, do not worry about tomorrow. And if there's one thing I'm good at, is doing exactly that. Worrying about the future. I've heard countless times, stop worrying, and my response is always, I know, I will. I spend so much time replaying conversations in my head, thinking about what I could have said or should have done. But it's important to remind ourselves that tomorrow is not guaranteed. The past is not something we can return to. So all we truly have is the present. Standing here today, reflecting on my time at Queens, I've realized just how quickly it all passes. So today, I want to be a reminder for all of us to pause and be present. To take this moment in before we head into commencement tomorrow. Not just to look ahead, but to appreciate and pause and recognize how far we've already come. I want to take you back to the first time I stepped on the Queens campus. The feeling I got was different. It was a feeling that this could be my place. A home away from home. Queens is not just a university, it became a home. And this goes for me and so many others sitting here today. Throughout that time, we experienced every season together. The heavy rain in the fall, the unexpected snow in the winter, the trees blooming in spring, and the sun bringing everyone out to the quad during the summer. And through all those changes, one thing remained the same, the beauty of this campus. That beauty reflects something deeper. In the same way this campus became a place we could return to, God provides us with a foundation, a rock on which we stand, steady through every season of our lives. The person standing here today is not someone I would have recognized a couple years ago. Before coming to Queens, I was shy. Public speaking was not my thing, and approaching new people, definitely not my thing. The person standing here today is, again, someone not I would have recognized. But when I first toured Queens, I remember looking up to the ambassadors, the way they carried themselves, how they captured their audience, and how they naturally connected with people. I remember thinking, I want to be just like that. I'm sure we've all heard the phrase, you get of Queens what you put into it. And that's true, because growth doesn't just happen. We have to choose it. We have to choose faith over fear. So I started small. I began speaking up in class, pushing through the discomfort, slowly becoming the person I envisioned myself to be. As that confidence grew, I started stepping into opportunities that challenged me. One of those was joining a class participating in the Organization of American States, where we traveled to DC and represented a delegation of Colombia. I remember sharing my doubts with Dr. Commons, and she saw potential in me that I couldn't see in myself at the time. And the faith that she had in me pushed me to keep going and continue to become the person I wanted to be. Now, standing here today, I've been a Royal Ambassador for 3 years. What I once only imagined has now become my reality. And it's in moments like that that taught me something I will carry with me. Growth happens when we move through discomfort. And sometimes we need others to help us see something in ourselves before we're able to see it on our own. As we've heard plenty times before, we are not meant to go through life alone. We are meant to lean on each other and grow together. My spiritual journey grew through someone I met in my final year. Someone who truly listened, who was present, and who lived with intention. Through the way they carried themselves and cared for others, they showed me what it means to be grounded in faith and to slow down enough to appreciate the life we've been given. I began to understand the importance of moving with the flow of life, not resisting it, but trusting where it leads. One thing they reminded me of is, even in the moments when we feel distant, disconnected, or at our lowest, God's love is always there for us to return to. Hearing that brought a sense of peace, because every day spent worrying about some things we cannot change is a day where the joy of living finds no place. I began to experience that sense of release in the simplest moments. Queen showed me that life is about the simple things. On the days when I felt down, it was the smallest moments that made the biggest difference. Walking out of my room, being greeted by the smiles of staff members, or seeing the families and the familiar faces of students I'd once given a tour to. It was in those everyday interactions that I began to notice the beauty of the ordinary, becoming more present, more open to joy, and more aware of the small things that bring fulfillment. At the end of the day, what stays with us most is not just what we achieve, but the impact we have on others. We live on in the hearts of people we've touched. So as we step into what's next, I'm leaving Queens with a heart filled with gratitude and love. Queens is a place that helps us discover who we want to become. Both inside and outside of the classroom, we come to realize we are capable of making a difference wherever life takes us. I'm leaving with a new perspective, to be present, to release what I cannot control, and to open my heart fully to the life in front of me. What I want to leave you with today is the following. When we stop worrying about tomorrow, we allow ourselves to fully experience the beauty of today. So as we move forward, let's slow down, let's cherish the people around us, and let's be present in the moments we're living. Because one day, these moments will become memories we carry with us forever. Thank you.
Hey there. I was looking forward to this. Where's Amber? There she is. Okay. All right. So good afternoon, President Curitin, faculty, staff, parents, friends, and esteemed class of 2026. Y'all look good. Y'all look really good over there. Thank you for inviting me to share in such a meaningful moment in your lives. It is a privilege and one that I do not take lightly to stand before you today. Before I get started with my speech, I will let you know that I had the chaplain read my speech, and he used words like brilliant, genius. I mean, he gave me all these different affirmations that my speech was going to be good. So if it's not good, blame it on him. So my name is Darryl White. I have had the honor of serving as the Assistant Dean for Diversity, Inclusion, Community Engagement here for the past 10 years. That's really been a privilege for me, being that I'm also a Queens alum. I actually graduated from Queens in the early years. I won't tell you how long ago, but it was a while ago. And then I recently did my master's here as well. I also have two of my children who graduated from Queens most recently, 2018 and 2021. And I would say that, when we talk about mosaic, all the things that were poured into my children while they were here is actually still with them right now. And so I know that this was the right place for them, and right now we still feel that same thing that they got from this university. So many of you, I've had a chance to either come into your classrooms, I've had a chance to see you in the cafeteria, just in different settings. We've had conversations together. Some of those conversations are really serious, and some of them are just kind of like in passing. Some of you I just give fist bumps. Where's Noah? Noah, where you at? Noah gives the best fist bumps, y'all. I mean, every time Noah sees me, he makes sure he comes to me and gives me a fist bump. So always look forward to those things as well. So graduates, think back to a little more than 4 years ago, submitting your applications, receiving your acceptance letter, arriving for orientation, moving into your residence halls, and at that time, this day probably felt so distant, right? And then something shifted. The space between beginning and end began to close. You joined clubs, you led organizations, you trained, you competed, studied, struggled, and succeeded. You built friendships, some that will last a lifetime. And before you do it, you arrived here. So you arrived here the day before walking across the stage. But while you were earning your degree, you were also building something else. You were building a mosaic. A mosaic is an art form created by arranging small individual pieces into a larger unified design. On their own, these pieces may seem small, insignificant, but together they form something meaningful, resilient, and beautiful. That is what your life is becoming, something meaningful, beautiful. Every experience, every relationship, every success, and every setback, every conversation, every risk, every moment of growth, each one is a valuable piece of your mosaic. On this campus, we often use the word pluralism to describe the relationships that shape our community. Pluralism is more than coexistence. It is active, intentional engagement with difference. It calls us to listen, to learn, and to grow alongside one another while honoring what makes each of us unique. That is what gives the mosaic its beauty. 4 years ago, many of you came from communities where life felt familiar. For some, that meant being surrounded by people who looked like you, thought like you, or shared your background. Coming to a place like Queens, rich in diversity of culture, belief, and perspective, may have felt overwhelming at first. But you figured it out. More than that, you actually grew. And I've seen you grow. You learned how to live, learn, and lead alongside people who were different from you. You discovered that difference is not something to fear, it is something that adds depth, dimension, and color to your mosaic. I can relate to that journey. 4 decades ago, y'all know how long that is, 4 decades? 4 decades ago, so I didn't want to say 40 years ago, or I didn't want to put the year 1986 because then it made me feel old. And some of y'all may think I'm old, but I'm just seasoned, that's all. You know, don't ever say I'm old. I'm seasoned. So 4 decades ago, I left my hometown of Charleston, South Carolina to enlist in the U.S. Army. Up to that point, my world had been fairly contained. My community, my school, my friendships all felt familiar. Then came basic training at Fort Jackson, South Carolina. That was only 120 miles away from my home. So you would think that I would still feel comfortable being 120 miles from home, but it felt like another world. For the first time, I was surrounded by people from vastly different backgrounds, beliefs, and experiences. I had a choice, resist that difference or embrace it. I actually couldn't resist it because they actually would put me in jail for running away from basic training, so I had to stay. So I couldn't just say I'm not going to go. So I chose to embrace it. A few months later, I was stationed in Mannheim, Germany. Again, I faced a choice, stay within the comfort of what I knew on base or step beyond it. Being that I was going to be there for 2 years, I couldn't just stay on base. I had to step beyond that and say I want to actually embrace this new culture that I'm in. I explored, I connected, I learned from people whose lives were very different from mine, and in doing so, my worldview expanded in ways that I never could have imagined. At the time, I didn't have a name for it, but what I was building was my mosaic, just as you have been building yours over the last 4 years. A few weeks ago, we held a Celebrate Diversity fair here on campus. There was a station where people could create their own mosaics. I watched as each person began with a blank towel. I actually have some props here, y'all. Blank towel, this is where they started off with. They actually have some little pieces to go on it too. So they actually started with a blank towel, and each person thought about how do I want to place my mosaic, how do I want to place my pieces. And so this is the chaplain's work, y'all. This is not the best one that we have, but I just borrowed it from him. This is what he used. So no one chose one color for their mosaic. No one created something uniform. I'm going to leave the chaplain alone. That's the last joke I'm going to do on you. I'm going to leave him alone. So as people thought about their mosaics, they paused, they rearranged every piece in the mosaics they paused and then they rearranged, they adjusted, and eventually they created something uniquely and entirely their own. Chaplain actually did this one too. This is a good one. This is a good one. So I was going to make my own, but I actually took some pieces home for my daughter to make one for me. Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? I'll sell it if anybody want to buy it after the thing. I'll sell it to you. So they paused, they adjusted, they reimagined, and eventually they created something entirely their own, something that reflected who they were. That's what you're doing with your life. In reality, we don't get to rearrange every piece in the mosaics that we become a part of, but we do have a choice in how we position ourselves and how we contribute to the environments we enter. We can help create spaces where others feel like they belong, where they are seen, valued, and included as part of the larger mosaic. That opportunity comes now as you go to work in corporate environments, hospitals, grad schools, and other entities. This is your opportunity to do that. Because the beauty of a mosaic is not in perfection, it's in diversity. It's in the way different pieces come together to create something whole. Decades ago, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. spoke of the beloved community, a vision of a world where our differences are not barriers but bridges, a world grounded in dignity, respect, and love, a world where every individual is recognized as a value and vital part of something greater. That vision still matters, and we should still be striving to achieve it. And in that vision, you matter. Your voice matters, your story matters, your piece of the mosaic matters. Over the course of my life, my mosaic has been shaped by countless people, places, and experiences, both positive and challenging. Each has contributed something essential. My mosaic includes my family, parents, siblings, and loved ones who shaped my foundation. It includes teachers, professors, and coaches who pushed me to grow. It includes childhood friends and the neighborhood that raised me. It includes moments of rejection and moments of affirmation. It includes teammates who celebrated victories and learned from losses. It includes leaders who doubted me and those who believed in me without hesitation. It includes the old woman who fell in the grocery store but rejected my help because of the color of my skin. It includes unexpected connections like sitting in a bar in Germany with someone with whom I shared no common language. I had barely learned German, he had barely learned English, but we somehow figured out how to communicate in the bar, and we had a good time. It was a great time. And my mosaic includes all of you who are here, students, faculty, staff, family members. It includes all of you, because we have some encounter that we're going to have, whether it's through passing or whatever, but it all includes a part of you. So I leave you with a few questions. What does your mosaic look like? Who has helped you shape it? What moments will you carry forward? And what lessons, especially from the difficult times, will influence what comes next? Because here's the truth. Your mosaic is not finished. It is still being built, and every day you are given new pieces. You have to figure out what to do with those new pieces. As Dr. Clifton expressed earlier, we are living museums of our relationships and experiences. So every interaction is unique, something you have never encountered before and will never encounter quite the same way again. So be intentional. Approach the world with curiosity, authentic, respectful curiosity, and this is my word, not furiosity, right? Not furiosity. That's my word, so don't try to correct me here, faculty. Be willing to listen, be willing to learn, because curiosity opens the door to connection, and connection is what brings a mosaic to life. So class of 2026, as you leave this place, carry your mosaic with pride, continue building it with courage, compassion, and purpose, And remember, the most beautiful mosaics are not made from identical pieces, but from differences brought together in harmony. Congratulations, and may your mosaic continue to grow in ways that enrich your life and the lives of others. Thank you.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. In the name of God, the most compassionate, the most merciful. O knower of subtleties, you created us all with inner worlds that no one else can see, and with uniquely shaped souls that feel this life differently. Every corner of Queen's University has reflected our individual light back at us, including in everything it has given us. We are grateful that you guided us here to make Queens what it is. We call to you now to share our feelings of accomplishment, excitement, triumph, pure joy, and perhaps our uncertainties as we leave behind the familiar and continue on into the unknown. O giver of peace, our trustee, grant us comfort in the certainty that we will be happy wherever we are, in whatever we do. O elevating one, our protecting friend, we pray that you breathe confidence into our chests always, so that we may always believe in ourselves. Banish our imposter syndrome unceasingly, as many times as we need. Keep us mindful of ourselves as divinely created masterpieces, even where the world is dark and discouraging. As we continue on this path of destiny, we call upon your help in allowing each of our hearts to decipher our unique calling and to do so with certainty. O provider of guidance, please help us in our challenge to find a way of life that will be in harmony with our gifts and needs. Let us not be afraid if the nature of our calling changes and takes us down pathways we had not anticipated. Keep us calm throughout the turbulence of being human. Deepen our resolve with every challenge. Ease us into the rich territories of risk and promise. Bestow upon us patience in adversity, and let us be leaders within our communities who inspire collective perseverance and resilience. Amen. Amen. May it be so.
I wish everyone had the chance to stand up here because it's just amazing to see the view of these amazing students and our faculty and staff and families. So y'all look amazing. Shalom, I am Andy Harkavy, the director of Hillel and Jewish Life, part of the Spiritual Life team. It is my honor to offer all of you this benediction. As we come to the close of this baccalaureate celebration, we pause with gratitude for the journeys that brought us here, for the growth we have witnessed, and for the community that has shaped and sustained us. In Jewish tradition, this blessing is often recited at significant moments. Yevarecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichunecha. May God's light shine upon you, and may God be gracious to you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May you feel God's presence within you always, and may you find peace. As you leave this place, may you carry with you not only the knowledge, but the responsibility to build, to uplift, to serve, and to lead with integrity and kindness. Go forth and be a blessing to others. And together we say, Amen. A few instructions as we close out the ceremony. As the string quartet begins playing, the platform party will lead the recessional, followed by senior leadership, faculty, and then students. Guests are asked to wait until the recessional is over before leaving the chapel, and everyone is invited to attend the graduate reception on the Queens Hall Terrace, which is right out there. All of you who are able, please stand.